Well, hello there, folks, and welcome into the first official video of Financial Education 3. So this is going to be interesting. It was hard for me to decide what would be the first real official video for this channel. I had to come up with some sort of subject that would be really interesting. I couldn't just come up with some boring subject for the first video ever on this channel, in terms of now that it's officially live and whatnot. So I thought we would talk about something really crazy today. How the heck did we build a YouTube stock market powerhouse? And let's go in depth on this from my opinion and how this happened. And I use the term we because it's not just me. Obviously, my subscribers are a massive part of my success and why the channel has grown so much over the years. It's not me just watching my videos and subscribing. It's massive amounts of people from all over the world that decide they want to come spend their time with me, 20 minutes out of their day, come spend, watch videos on the two channels and things like that. So how in the world did this happen? And I thought this would be an interesting place to start with this video. Is I have CNBC's numbers up there. So, if you add up our channels, we're over 600,000 subscribers, right? CNBC television, that's the channel they use for all their stock market information, videos, things like that, right? And CNBC television, they have, almost 51,000 uploads and a little under 1 million subscribers. And that's when it comes to YouTube side, okay, here's who it is. It's me and Chris. Literally, that's it, okay? It's not some team of 800 people or something like that. It's literally the two of us and that's it. So, to even be remotely close to these type of people, when it comes to these subscriber numbers, it's just absolutely crazy because, that's just a massive network. So, all I can say is I'm thankful and it's absolutely amazing. So let's get into this from my perspective. How did this happen? What the heck is going on? Okay. So there are 5 reasons why, 5 core reasons. I really just sat down and thought about this, and I was like, let me pretend for a moment there's a professor at a university or something. They want me to go in and talk about how we built massive YouTube channels from nothing in the stock market space of all spaces, crazy, right? And so I thought what would be the most important things in my opinion on why this happened, and I wrote those down. That's what we're talking about, okay? Hope you guys enjoy this as always. If you don't mind, smash the thumbs up button or whatever. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. So first reason I think the channel's been able to grow so much over the years, right? I started the channel in 2016 is I think I'm one of the few people that actually has really in-depth understanding of YouTube, how YouTube works, and stocks. So there are not many folks that really understand both on a really high level. I've seen it where people will create stock market channels and they might actually know what they're talking about and they're actually pretty knowledgeable, but they just don't get YouTube, and so they just don't get very far with YouTube. Let's put it that way. They have trouble getting more than 1,000 views a video or something like that because they just don't quite understand the YouTube side of things. On the flip side, I've seen people that have amazing titles and amazing thumbnails and all these cuts and things like that, but they don't really understand stocks, the stock market in general, very well, and the audience can tell very quickly, so they just leave, essentially. So you have to, one of the reasons I think the channel's been so successful is literally because I understand stocks. I've been doing this for such a long time, and I understand YouTube, the titles, thumbnails, understanding the audience, understanding the algorithm. All those things are so dang vital if you want to be successful on YouTube. You can't just not care about those things. You have to care about those things in the end. It is absolutely important. And time for prime time, I put that one in there. So when I go to record a video, I go into a different mode. I turn into a different person essentially. I come from, way before I started caring about money, I came from the sports world, right? And when you're about to compete, you go into a different mode. I played football for 5 years. I ran track, sprints. And when you're about to compete, you go into a different level. You become a different person, or the most amped up person of yourself, right? And so when I started working, I always kind of thought about I'm going to turn into the beast mode, or whatever you want to call it, that competitive side of things, right? And so when I go to make a video, a YouTube video, I'm not just going in there and being like, yeah, guys, let's talk about Tesla stock today. So Tesla stock went up 3% today. No. I'm coming with the fire. I'm going to be the most amped up, ready to rock and roll version of myself I can possibly be. I didn't come to play games. And I bring it every single video, every single day. Never like, you just like, it's just, I come ready to play every single day, day in and day out, year after year after year. Okay. And so I think that's huge. And then I think my ability to understand stocks in detail and be able to talk about a stock very in detail over a 10, 20 minute span and like give all the bullish points I have and like what could go wrong with this stock in detail. I think that is massive because it allows for not just in the kind of the way I can explain things. I can explain things in a manner where if you're a more advanced investor, you like know, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about in this stock. But also if you're a newer investor, I don't talk in a way that's so high level that you can't get it. Like you're like, oh, what is he talking about? I just don't get it. Because I've seen, like, why aren't there more stock market investors at the end of the day? Let's just break that down. Why are there not more stock market investors? Because like it seems so dang complicated. And then if you try to learn from somebody and you turn on the TV, it's like these guys and they're talking about all these fancy terms that you're just like, I don't even get this. Like, what are they talking about? So I think I'm able to keep the experienced audience around and the newer folks who are maybe in their first year or two of investing and be able to kind of meet the best of both worlds. And I'm fortunate for that. I'm able to understand the market in detail, like what's going on in the market. Like I've seen this before, like things like that. The experience, I've had 12 years of experience now. I've seen 2 stock market crashes now, right? The one when I was getting involved with market 08, 09, that was massive stock market crash, right? And the one we just had this year, obviously, was the fastest drop, like 35% drop in the history of the stock market we had this year, right? So I've seen 2 of those now. I've seen countless corrections. I've seen bull markets. I've seen great years in the stock market. I've seen down years for the stock market. I've seen years where the stock market does nothing. So bringing that experience and understanding of business overall, I think is really, really key. You can't just understand the metrics and things like that. And, especially to be a good stock market investor, you have to understand business on a high level, what differentiates a good business model from a great business model or an average business model and bad and things like that. So I think that's really big. And it's really hard to find people in the world that understand YouTube on a high. I was using YouTube like when YouTube was like brand spanking new, like back in, I don't know when that was, like 06. I used to watch like Reggie Bush high school highlight tapes, like Lindell White, Reggie Bush, Adrian Peterson. I remember watching Adrian Peterson's like high school like football like videos back in like, I don't know, 06, 07. So like I just always understood YouTube and saw it adapt. And I used to watch YouTube a lot, way before I was even a YouTuber. And then I bring that stock market experience in as well. And it makes for a really good mix. So I think that's a really big key of these 5. Number 2, I put my money where my mouth is at the end of the day. The majority of my money is tied up in the stock market. And I think people respect that. And I think it's big that when I go in and I do videos, like, I don't know, 3 stocks I'm buying, that I'm actually buying those stocks. Or if I say, I just put $50,000 in a stock today, I don't just say that. I actually show screenshots and things like that. I think the fact that I put my money where my mouth is absolutely massive. There's not that many people that are really doing this on this type of level and are really like, I'm going to put $100,000 in a stock over the next month and actually do it and actually plan on doing that and things like that. It brings a much further level of interest in things because think about it for a moment. I mean, if you're just talking about 3 stocks you think are interesting, like, does it really matter? What about 3 stocks you're actually putting money in? Are you actually putting money in? It changes things at the end of the day. And I practice what I preach. I held all through the Rona crash, which was absolutely massive, right? Which is something I always preach, like hold, buy on dips. You guys always see me buy on, if it's a stock I love, I bought on the dip. Look at Tesla. I bought Tesla shares like probably 10 or 20 different times in 2018, 2019 when that stock would dip. I don't sell for quick profits. It's not like I'm all of a sudden like, I'm up 20% on the stock. Let me sell out or something like that. I hold these stocks for long term. So practicing what I preach and the majority of my money being tied up in the stock market, putting my money where my mouth is, I think is really, really key to the whole story and the success of the channel in the end. I think it's really, really important. Number 3, I think ultimately my success in stock picking is a huge reason why the channel is as popular as it is. The high majority of my stocks go up. Like, you just look at it, like the high majority of them go up. And of the pillar stocks, 2 of the 3 stocks went up like insane. So there's been 3 pillar stocks in the history of my YouTube channels over the past 4 years. One was GoPro. Obviously, that one went super bad, right? The second was Tesla. And the third was Planet 13. Those are the 3 pillar stocks there's been countless stocks I've talked about and owned over time and things like that. Stocks that have come and gone. But those are the 3 core pillar stocks that I made ridiculous amounts of videos on, right? And it's like, you can't not think of that stock and if you think about GoPro stock, you got to think of me. If you think about Tesla stock, you got to think about me. And if you think about Planet 13 stock, you got to think about me, right? If you've seen my videos, because I made so dang many videos on those different stocks. And so ultimately, at the end of the day, I think people keep coming back for the content because, like, generally speaking, most of my stocks make money. And I think the reason why a lot of other channels stagnate or start going down is because ultimately they aren't successful stock pickers. I'll just be honest. And there are a lot of them. Like, look at the day trading community, for instance. Look at how few people actually watch a lot of those big day trader videos, right? Because most of them are just getting thrown out of the stock market. They try to have success and they fail in the end because they realize, like, those guys aren't that good, and then they're out, right? Boom, and they're gone. And so these people would build up and to 1 million subscribers, and yet they'll have trouble hitting 10K, 20K views on their videos and things like that, because at the end of the day, like, people just realize, like, these guys, aren't that good at picking stocks in the end. So I think that's been, huge. Public account, that's a public account there. All the positions we have open right now. Fidelity counts us at 116% 1 year rate of return for the public account. So we're doing all right. Let's just put it that way. Number 4, I think the realness. So, I mean, there was a decision I had to make back in 17, 18, and it was like, am I going to try to craft like a perfect image around me and around my personal brand, or just a real image? And like, if things go bad or things go well, like, just like let it be. And so I was just made the decision back then. I'm like, I'm just going to be real. Whatever happens, happens. And I think because I decided to go down that route, I think it was way better for my channels. And the reason why we are where we are and we're going where we're going is because I decided to not craft like a perfect image around myself. I said, hey, I messed up on GoPro. That was a horrible investment, and I left up all the videos in the history of GoPro I ever made when I was super bullish on that stock, and I loved that stock. Left them all up. Any mistake I make, all stays up. It's all, you can go through it. You can run through the videos. It's all there. I never take any of that stuff down. I'm like, it is what it is. If I made a mistake, I'll admit to it. I messed up. It's a bad stock, something like that. Like, I just realized, like, that's a way better approach. And like, if you're a stock picker and you've been doing this for, I've been doing it for 12 years, but I mean, imagine you do it for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. You're going to have plenty of stocks you come across that you believe so much in, and it didn't work out for whatever reason. You have to accept that and you have to move on. And I think that's really good that I get across that to my audience. Like, hey, you make a mistake, like, don't ever be afraid of making a mistake. Because if you're afraid of making a mistake, dude, you're not going to do stock. You're not going to invest in stocks. You're not going to invest in business. You're going to do nothing big in your life. I can guarantee that. If you are scared about making mistakes, you will never do anything big in life. I can promise you that. You have to just let it go and move on and just keep learning, keep fighting another day. So I think the realness I brought to the channel is just, I think is really, really important. I'll fight whoever. Like, it doesn't matter. I'll make videos, negative videos, if I got it about CNBC or Robinhood or YouTubers or Nikola or Tesla short sellers, like the mainstream media, like whoever I got to attack, like we'll go at it. Okay. And I think that, my audience has ultimately appreciated in the end. Like, I'm not here just to make friends with all these, individuals and companies, even though I understand that when I do attack these people, it costs me a lot of money, right? I'm sure I put out, a few negative CNBC videos over time for different reasons on things that maybe happened or agendas I saw from CNBC, and I spoke out about it, right? And that cost me, a lot of money because, that's potential partnerships with CNBC. That's potential shows like CNBC Make It and so many different things, right? Robinhood, obviously that was something that I spoke about in the last week or two, and how bad their customer service is just not good enough for, countless customers, and with the whole hack situation, things like that. And, that costs. I'm never going to do a deal with Robinhood. Let's just put it that way. And all those guys that work high up at Robinhood, they all watch my channel. I know because they've contacted me before. YouTubers, it is what it is. Nikola, obviously we had to talk about that. And Tesla short sellers. I mean, oh my gosh, that was a whole thing back in the day. It's not as big of a thing nowadays. The stock's gone up so much, but it was a big thing back then. So I think, people just appreciate accepting whatever it is. Good results, bad results, and whoever wants it can get it. Let's just put it that way. And number 5, I think this might be the biggest. It's just overall respect for my audience. I haven't gone more than 1 week without posting in 4 years on my YouTube channels. I think that's the ultimate sign of respect, I guess you can say in the end. I don't just want to take a month off from YouTube or something like that, because at the end of the day, people there's a good segment of the population out there that watch my channel that love those videos, and they look forward to those videos, especially Monday through Friday, right? I don't post on the weekends, but Monday through Friday, they look so forward to those videos on those 2 channels, right? And I don't just say whatever, let's take next month off or something like that. It's just respect overall. You know what I mean? And I can understand some YouTubers, they take months off at a time, or, there's sporadic uploads and things like that. I just have way too much respect for my audience to be doing stuff like that, because I read the comments, and there's a lot of comments I'll see sometimes that it's this is my best part of my day, or this is my favorite part of the day, or I've been looking forward to this upload all day and things like that. And I just never want to let people down. I mean, there's things I look forward to in life, right? Today was Alabama-Georgia football game, and I was looking super forward to that football game. I can't wait to watch this today. It's the number one thing in my day today on this Saturday, right? And that wouldn't have been a good feeling if they were just oh no, we're not going to play, and yeah, we're not going to play for the next month or something like that. It's just really? I've been looking forward to this, and you're just not going to do this, right? So speaking up for my audience, for instance, a perfect example is the Robinhood situation that happened, this past week. I kind of feel I'm the person who can kind of speak for the retail investors in the stock market, and I have these big platforms that I can speak out against if I need to speak out against somebody, for the little guys. And so if I need to speak for people that don't have, 500,000 subscribers or whatever, I can speak on their behalf and say, hey, somebody fix this. Robinhood, hey, your customer service isn't up to par. Get a phone system in. And we can make changes with that, or we cannot make changes with that. But the fact that I'm able to speak up for my audience, I think, is really big. And also, the ultimate respect for my audience is just the fact that, and everybody can make their own decisions. I don't do affiliates. I don't do sponsorships. There's no buying me. I literally just sell my private stock group, and that is it. I don't there's no affiliate deals or anything like that. I've missed out on not 1, not 2, but $3 million plus from Webull I could have made so far in 2020. $3 million plus, because I know what my peers make from Webull, and what they've been paying out in 2020 is absolutely insane. I decided to make a decision like that because I never wanted to just be into a platform. I looked into Webull, and it was this Chinese company that I was having trouble finding who the overhead company is, and how are they getting all this money, and they try to, the amount of DMs and emails I have from Webull of people trying to get me to sign up for Webull so I could be an affiliate for them is startling. That's the best way to put it. And it's cost me over $3 million this year I could have made on affiliates for Webull. And it's just me making a decision in the end to say, I don't want to go down the route of doing sponsorships, affiliates, and things like that. Although I can make crazy money doing that, just having overall respect for my audience and saying, I'm going to stay out of all that stuff. It is what it is. I'm going to, bypass millions of dollars every single year by saying, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. But at the end of the day, I think it's the best thing for my audience, and it allows me to speak freely. Imagine I did a deal, we just talked about the Robinhood situation, right? Imagine I had a deal with Robinhood where they were paying me such and such amount of money, and I had to shout them out on the videos. Do you think I ever would have spoke up negative about them? No, of course not, right? And that goes for anything. If you're financially incentivized, maybe you're even under contract. Can you ever come out and speak negatively about something? No, you can't, because they're lining your pockets. You get it? So, I don't think that's something, that maybe even hits a lot of people. But yeah, people really have no idea how much money I say no to. It's crazy. Let's just put it that way. I probably say no to $5 million a year, if not more than that, between affiliates and sponsorships. So I think it's really important, and it's just kind of like the respect I have for my audience in the end. I don't want to be like chained down by, these different platforms and providers and things like that, and it is what it is. So in my opinion, those are the 5 biggest reasons why the channel's had success. We could go into a million other reasons and things like that, but I think those are the biggest core 5 reasons when you really break it down from my perspective on just being part of this. And in the future, I'm just trying to push things even off of YouTube. So obviously YouTube's always my home, and that's what I want to continue to build and things like that. I'm starting this 3rd channel, more around business, subjects like this. We might talk about growing on YouTube. We might talk about business in general, entrepreneurship, personal finance. But, things like this, trying to even grow off the platform. I just started like a week and a half ago or so, Stock Hub. Discord chat probably less than a week and a half ago. And my goal with that is to make the biggest chat in the entire world that people want to come and speak about stocks to with other investors. Like let's say if Tesla's going to report earnings, I want everybody to be in Stock Hub, talking about Tesla stock and what's going on with Tesla stock. And, if Apple's coming out with earnings, I want that to be the place that everybody comes and, loves to chat with a bunch of other investors. So, and that's another thing of respect for the audience. And I thought about, making that like a paid thing somehow. And I was like, let's just make it free. And that cost me money to have that up and running, because I pay, different people to moderate and things like that. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. It ended up being a little longer video than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, I thought it was an interesting subject. Once again, it's something I would never post on my 2 big dog channels. But here it seems pretty appropriate. So I hope you guys enjoy this channel. This feels good to get this first kind of video out of the way. It feels like, feels easier now. Now we can just kind of get rolling with things. But anyways, have a great day, guys. Peace.